Welcome back to the Manor Entropians. Julian McBain here, and we today will be... I'm actually changing what my plan was for today because I got back from a meeting late. I was going to do some higher level hunting, but I've decided instead, let's do some low level stuff and see how that goes. I do all kinds of high level hunting. It's time to kind of get back to roots and see what it's like hunting some Panleons for a while. I don't do starter or low-level hunting on stream very often because everyone likes to see the globals. Oh, there it is. I'm like, where the hell did they move the exit to? Hey, Via, how's it going? Alright, so we are going to run our sorry butts around. You're Pleeks? Oh, Pleek Rangers. Okay. Forgot about that. Yeah, hunting Pleeks is not my cup of tea. But you can do it. Let's go after Panleons. Oops, not that one. This one. Alright, but as we get started, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the Manor. Please take a moment and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. My gunfire is a little low on the volume department. We'll take out this guy. Hey Kieran, thank you for joining us. I also want to give a huge shout out to my patrons, Red Kryptonite and Spectrum 3900 and Jason Lambertson. Thank you so much for your support. So, you know, we've been doing a lot of, like, dusters, and we did the dire weeds. But a lot of your good hunting can actually be had when you're hunting something that's a lower level, because your looter skills are so much higher. And you don't necessarily have to wear armor, which is always aces in my book. Hey, cat. So what's Tiarak? Glad to see this many people so early in the stream. Thank you so much for coming, everyone. If y'all could do me a favor and just hit that thumbs up button, that really helps me. Now, I have to admit, Panleons have long been one of my favorite mobs to hunt. I used to hunt them. They were higher level. You'd want like an LB-10 or a 10 class R Matrix weapon, and that was up here. There used to be a couple islands up here between this teleporter and Carnap's Landing. And it was good hunting. The loot pool was very similar, actually slightly better than I've had with luck on the dusters. Oh, okay. You're on Arcadia. Okay. For some reason, I thought it might be a new game. I'm like, I've never heard of that game. No, it's a mob. Which is legit. Well, hunting Panleon here is a lot like hunting drones in Orthos. I've got to say, the loot table, I think they've adjusted it. It's very similar to what it used to be, but I don't think it's exact. I think they've reduced it somewhat, or adjusted it down a little bit, which is fine, because it was pretty generous, to say the least. But I liked it when it was generous. I don't know about y'all. speaking of which, did I remember to empty my... No, I did not empty my... Oh, no, this is... Okay, no, I did empty my bags the last time. Good, good, good. Yes. And see, back before I came to Cyrene for the first time, I fell in love with the Turellian armor, so I actually bought it off the auction house. I did not know you could grind it out here, because I totally would have. And so I had it all, and I wore that instead of Pixie, because Pixie's the armor most people wear, which I think is actually what you get for finishing mentorship, which I never did. And I came here, I'm like, oh, I could have earned this the old-fashioned way? But yeah, no, I think that Cyrene's had a lot of good things happening. Which is probably why I keep coming back. Thanks, Freakin' Reekin. I really appreciate it. Huh. Finished. I never started discipleship. I never went through it. By the time I realized it was something that might benefit me, I mean, I saw, like, looking for disciples and stuff. I didn't know if I would have the time to go through it. I didn't know what it was all about. I was already too high a level to really be a disciple, which I think theoretically you can be a disciple at any level within a certain reason. I'm sure there's a cutoff at some point, but finding someone who is willing to mentor a level 45, I mean... You know, there is the point of silliness, if you know what I'm saying. I still could. Even though I'm a mentor myself now. Okay, to be fair, the only person I'm mentoring is my son, but still. It would be fun to do. I mean, with me grinding out all of the mining now, I could probably finish the mentorship just doing geology. Although with my level 5 healing chip, it might be better to use the anatomy way. Oh yeah, they have the special Cyrene Disciple armor. I forgot about that. And I think mentors get something out of the deal too, if I'm not mistaken. Mentor armor. Yeah, I think once you pull the trigger on mentoring someone, becoming a disciple probably goes away. And if not, I would be very surprised, although I'd probably laugh about it. But to be fair, in real life, most people are mentoring some people while being a disciple to another. I've been in that situation before. Alright, Vaya. I'm game. We'll probably have to meet up at some point to do that. This person is likely doing swunting. Which, I guess sweat, because of the things on ancient Greece and the changes they're making to Arcadia, Vibrant Sweat's going to have a market again just off of Calypso. You know, I know the market for Sweat and Calypso is kind of crappy, but I think Titans of Space are going to be out looking to buy like 100 million Sweat sometime in the near future for all of their initiatives. Don't quote me on that, but I remember hearing something about that on Bonnie's stream. Bonnie, of course, is the Twitch streamer who's the captain of the Normandy, one of the motherships. Speaking of which, I think I might have mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention it again. I have delivered to her an angelic ring adjusted that she will be giving away sometime in the future. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, it's a right-hand ring. It increases your regen by 30% and your health by 12 points. It is a 10-ped ring, so it's worth $1 for those playing the home game. And does not decay as of right now. So it's the angelic ring adjusted. And as soon as she lets me know when that's going to be given away, I will let all of you know. So that y'all get a chance to enter that competition. Okay, let's see if this works. As soon as we down this Panleon, we'll figure that out. Where do you think you're going? Jungle. Whoop. Probably help if I didn't have caps lock on. Jungle Stalker Amazon. Request. You can currently not become a disciple. Well, poop. Well, Via, it was worth a shot. So goals for Cyrene, that's a good question. One of the things I want to do is I want to kind of explore some of the changes, see how the loot table, because I know they made adjustments, is doing. Last time I was here, I did the epic FAP chain. For those of you who are not Entropians, that means fast aid pack, not what most people think it does. Yeah, it does make sense. I do want to look at the other epic chains. I think the last time I was here for a month and a half just to get that epic taken care of. I hunted a lot of those stupid tide claws. Oh my god. I couldn't eat crab for a while after that. I'm just sick of crabs. I do know there's a couple of other epic mission chains on here I'd like to explore. Maybe I'll pick up one of those here in the near future. I do want to see if I'm high enough level to challenge the Dusters in their home turf up in the ruined city. I want to do the maze. I can figure out where to pick up the breadcrumb because I think I had it, then I dropped it. Now I can't find it again. And then if I'm high enough level, there's a lot of mobs here around these ruins. And it's a really cool area. So those are the things that are kind of on the list. As of right now, my plan is to be here until at least Halloween Mayhem. I might stay here longer than that. And I might not participate in Mayhem, although I say that every time. I always end up participating in Mayhem because Mayhem. But realistically, I do want to spend more time on Cyrene this time than I have in the past. Like, I spent 3 months on Monria. And the things I learned about being on Monria by being there long term really changed how I felt about the moon. And so I want to give Cyrene that same shot because I've loved Cyrene for a while. There have been some changes. I want to see how the changes have affected it. Oh yeah, there are those 2 epic mission chains for the weapons, so maybe I'll pick one of those. And just grind it until it's done. And then there's this new area I've got to locate where you have to pay a fee to get in, and then you grind out a particular mob, and it's for the 10 hooks, I believe. And I don't know what the prizes are for that. I forgot what it was from the patch notes. But the fact that they put... Ooh, that was not bad for level 3, 5.83. And I don't think that these guys drop weapons very often. But hey, I'll take Shrap any day. So yeah, that's my generalized goal. I do need to figure out what... I don't remember these pink dots being here the last time. It might just be an upgrade to the map. But I don't recall those being there. So that might be something new as well. This whole area here is relatively new, but we've explored that. I did the Ming Shang hunt. These islands, I don't think I've ever explored. I'm pretty sure those are new. This area I flew over, and it is way over my level. I do eventually need to pick up a pill and explore the volcano. And then all of this can be explored again. As well as this. I don't know that this island was here the last time. Maybe it was. Maybe I'm just not remembering correctly. But there's all kinds of things to go back through and re-explore. So, you know, one day at a time. Hey, Rince. Thanks, man. Will do. I will check on that after, Rince. Thank you for letting me know. So yeah, for those of you who are just coming in, I'm taking a break from the higher level hunting to see how the Panleons are doing. I'm kind of disappointed they removed the low level dusters, which I know, hunting dusters again. Why do I like hunting dusters so much? I don't know, because I'm kind of a Terrellian at heart, I guess. That's why I wrote a short story about them at mcbainmanor.com. But they're kind of, I don't know, they're just a fun creature to hunt. Look at what they look like. It's just an interesting looking creature. They're like a cross between a rhino, well, whoops. Kind of like a pissed off opossum with a rhino horn that's on fire when it comes right down to it, or maybe a badger. Yeah, I think with their attitude, they're more like badgers. Badgers with fire coming out of a horn. No wonder they're pissed off. They're on fire. So, yeah, they do. They honestly, they look at like something right out of Fallout. Maybe that's why I like them so much. Give them another head, they'd be right at home. But no, these guys have always given me really good loot, which is why I tend to hunt them a lot. And I haven't given them much time since coming back here because they took out the ones that are really my level to hunt. The level 10s and 11s, which is what I would hunt on that island that is no longer there. And then I went to the jungle, whoops, which is their home. And there are level 14s in this area, which is great, but there's also level 72s there, which is not so great. No, I'm still working on the parts to that. Let's see, is it under... Where did it... Oh. I thought I was still carrying... Oh, there it is. I only have one of the 4 chapters. And it's chapter 2, so I still need to hunt Shoggoth, which I'll probably be back on Monria in the new year. You know me. I still need to hunt Shubs, which I am of no level to be able to do. And I need to hunt cultists. And shubs, I can barely take shubs. Like, I have to hunt them one at a time. I have to heal after each one. That's a hard grind, and that's a very inefficient grind. So once I go back to Monria, I will take some time, do the Shoggoth to get them out of the way, and then I'll hunt cultists until they're taken care of, and hopefully that will grind my skills up enough to be able to really take the shubs on. Because now, not for nothing, I can take shubs now, one at a time. The first time I went to Monria, they ate me for lunch. But it doesn't mean that I can tank them all the time. Or I might have to group hunt them, which I know a lot of players do. Oh! Did not know that. Jan Michael, is that for Panleons, or is that for... That would make the most sense now, wouldn't it? We wouldn't be hunting shubs here. So we're probably looking at this building here, perhaps. I've been up there, though. I don't remember seeing any Panleons up there. Yeah, they do aggro hard. Okay. I will have to take a look, Jan. Maybe we'll do that a little bit later. 11 viewers. Thank you guys so much for showing up. If you're new, please consider subscribing. It really helps me out. But if nothing else, please consider hitting that thumbs up. And I appreciate everyone for showing up. Don't hesitate to jump into the chat. It's pretty much free for all there. I only have a couple of rules. And those 2 rules are no religion, no politics. That's it. You put 5 Bs on Pixie? Aren't the 5 Bs better than the Pixie? In-game politics is acceptable. I don't know that there's any real politics to be had in Entropia Universe. But I'm talking like mundane IRL stuff. Like, we get enough of that crap during the day. Don't need it here. Yes, Rince, I know. Your only rule is stash your junk. Well, and of course the Church of Ludius. Yes, for all of those who do not play Entropia Universe who have stumbled across my stream either because of my Fallout content or one of the Let's Plays I've done, Ludius is the patron saint of loot for this game. And it's literally the algorithm that dictates what loot you get, and we all know it. Let's see. How are we doing for loot? 11. We're doing okay. I mean, we're not going to be like racking in huge amounts here, but at the same time, we're not blowing through hundreds of ped worth of ammo either. Which, to be honest, is kind of a nice change of pace. It's like, hey, I've got 10,000 shots with this. I'll probably kill the gun before I kill the ammo. That is a solid rule. That is, in fact, a solid rule. Paint. Now, why olive? That's all I want to know. Like, didn't olive go out of style in, like, the 60s? Oh, no, I think it was the 70s. My family once had a pop-up camper that was all olive drab. Like, who thought this was a good idea, besides the army? That's fair, Via. So, yes, Kat, there is a skill that's associated with what kind of loot you get. Or more accurately, with the amount of loot you get off the mob you're hunting. So if we pop into our skills, and we go down to... Oh, crap, what would it be? It's not combat, I don't think. I know under professions it's gathering, so give me just a second here. It's not... Is it information? It is. So, okay. You've got skinning, which is for animals, scourging, which is for mutants, and reclaiming, which is for robots. And the higher your skill, the better you will be at getting better loot off of those mobs. The higher level you are, the more eligible you'll become for things. So, like, at low levels, you may only get shrapnel, right? And then you'll start getting common loots as it builds up. So your muscle oils, maybe some tail tips, still more shrapnel, nothing huge. And then as you get higher, you might start getting components or paint. And then when you get to a much better level, for those mobs that have them, they'll start dropping things like guns or armor, or you'll start getting globals, things of that nature. So the answer is yes, but it's not like when you hit level 7, you're eligible for this one item. It's more like, and now keep in mind, I don't know exactly how it works because this is part of the Ludius algorithm, which I'm pretty sure is the best kept secret of Europe. I'm pretty sure it'd be easier to get Britain's nuclear codes than getting the Ludius algorithm. It might be easier to get America's nuclear codes than the Ludius algorithm. So, my stream's still going, right? YouTube didn't shut me down? Okay, good. But I surmise, because I know that the algorithm prevents it from being gambling, and the government of Sweden has rules around it, that those levels coincide with, like, tables of loot you can get. And the higher level you are, the more varied that table gets. So there might be 1,000 slots on the table. And at level 1, they're all, or at level 0, they're all shrapnel. Or they're mostly shrapnel and, like, animal muscle oil. And then at level 5, you know, you start throwing in your paints and shit. And then at level 100, you've got guns and other stuff like that. One, two, three, four, 5. That's the kind of code an idiot would have on his luggage. Yes. Please smash the like button. Or if you're using a mobile device, just gently tap the like button. So that you don't hurt your mobile device. So yes, that's that. Oh. Oh Jesus, Michael. You know, I would not doubt that pi was involved in the algorithm. I really wouldn't. Rinse. If I found out you were actually Mel Brooks, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't. Or maybe a retired member of the Pythons. Apple. Most definitely Apple. All the pecan pie lovers are probably going, die, Julian. Ooh, it could be peanut butter pie. Boy, oh howdy, if you ever want a pie that eats like a bloody meal, peanut butter pie. That stuff is rich. Oh, good, but rich. Hey, Jerome. Thanks for coming. And as always, thank you for your support. Yeah, right, Cat? Put that stuff on a graham cracker crust or an Oreo crust. Man, it's been... Damn, it might be as much as 20 years since the last time I had a peanut butter pie. I can't remember. I know it's been since before my son was born. So it's been at least 15. Which is kind of sad because it's in my top 2 favorite types of pie. Of dessert pie, I should say. Well, Jan Michael, it is my stream, which means food comes up at some point. It's because we're all foodies. But yeah, because peanut butter pie, I think it's like a mix of, it's peanut butter and cream. I don't know all the ingredients, but it is super rich. Like, I know people who are major foodies, love their sweets. They could live on their sweets. And they take, like, a small slice of peanut butter pie. And they're done. It's that rich. It is just amazing. Yeah, right, Cat? Yeah, I wish I was only 20 years ago. I was in high school 20 years ago. It really hurts my heart that I can say that. Shit. Time comes for us all. Because 2020, that would be the year 2000. Oh wow, that was Y2K. 20 years ago was Y2K. Who here remembers Y2K? He's turning 13, Vesky. You know, I've never seen Star Wars fan films, but I have been watching some of the Star Trek fan series, and some of them are as well produced as the actual series. And some of the storylines they have, I hate to say it, but some of them are better than some of the original screenwriters. I'm damned impressed, and let's face it, most fan projects don't go very well. I am damned impressed. I'm kind of jealous, to be honest with you. Yes, that is the first stepping stone, 1,000 subs. I was hoping to make it by the end of the year. I'm still hoping to make it by the end of the year, although, reasonably speaking, I'm probably looking at the end of, at sometime next year, hitting 1,000. I won't say the end. We don't want to jinx ourselves. But no, we're definitely plowing toward that goal. Y2K was a lot of fun. Funny thing is as I'm watching the ball drop, so I was 15, was I 15 or 16 in 2000? When it turned over, I was 15. And it's like 1 minute to midnight. I'm standing in our dining room in boots and a jacket, watching the ball drop on television. So the way my house is set up, you've got the dining room where the front door was. It's now in a we added a mud room on by converting an exterior breezeway into an interior space. So I'm standing in the dining room in the door, and I've got my jacket and boots on, and the generator's set up. And if you look from the door, you could look straight at the television because of where we had it in the living room. And so I'm watching the ball drop with trepidation, with a flashlight in hand, ready to go start the generator in the event everything shuts down. And ball dropped, and we all kind of looked around, and we're like, awesome. And I said, great, I'm going to bed. Actually, Rince, I don't think CBS is shutting them down. I know Paramount was not very happy about them, but it appears like CBS is still letting them go on. Because you can still find them on YouTube and stuff, and CBS has not made any copyright claims on them. You just have to put the proper disclaimers up. And you can't make money off them, of course. But, like Star Trek Continues is still going. And actually, the late, great Grant Imahara was Sulu in that. No shit. And yeah, CBS kind of screwed the pooch for me on a lot of it. Picard wasn't bad. Discovery was okay in the first season. I've heard that the second season tanked it. I haven't seen the second season yet. Kind of disappointed at the way they changed the Klingons, but kind of a Klingon guy. I'm the unholy spawn of a Klingon with and a Ferengi. Then there's crap. New Horizon, Star Trek New Horizon, which is a fan film based in the Enterprise, the Star Trek Enterprise time period. And that was phenomenally done. They made extensive use of green screens, and there's a little bit of lens flare, but I was damned impressed by the script writing. I was impressed by the work they put in. They just did a damn good job. The film is worth watching. It was the first time I was able to sit and do nothing but watch a movie in a very long time. That's how good it was. You know, I have to agree with both of you on that. I made the attempt. I did. No one ever bid on it. Maybe I should just... Which, okay, I have to say, this is a huge mea culpa on me, because Kat went through the entirety of the first novel and edited it, so I need to go through and re-edit it. And I was going to put it up on Kindle at some point, but maybe I'll just re-release it on McBainManor.com. I had a whole... it's a universe, but based in the solar system, sublight speeds only. And I think it would be cool if other people liked it. Never seen The Mandalorian. I've heard it was good. Although, a lot of my friends now say this is the way. I gotta say, the one thing about having read so much of the extended universe and being so familiar with the Star Wars universe itself, the timelines, completely killed Rogue One for me. Because the piece of Star Wars history that they pulled that out of, I basically knew how it was going to end because I was so integrated into the Star Wars universe. Like, this is how Star Wars I used to be. I used to watch the show Droids. Does anyone else remember the cartoon Droids? It was canon. It was. Because it followed C-3PO and R2-D2 between when they left Anakin in pieces on, I think it was Megiddo, and when they met up with Leia on the Tantive 4. Those two had some adventures. And then you had the Ewoks. That was another canon series, so that was a spin-off. And then you had the Return to Endor, which I believe was also canon. Which, that was more of like a feel-good family movie than anything. Rents, are you talking Rogue One or are you talking Return to Endor? And I've seen pieces of Rogue One, don't get me wrong. I haven't seen the whole thing. I have seen pieces. And it was well done for what I saw. But it's like, but I already know what happened because I've read the timeline. It's not fair. Like, it's supposed to be this awesome movie and it looked pretty epic, except I already knew the ending going into it. Both. No, no, Rince. The Star Wars film that never should have been made, I've never seen it, but I already know this, is this freaking Christmas special. Okay? Let's be fair here. I can forgive a lot of things. Except maybe Jar Jar. But why did they need a Christmas special? Right. Right? No. Different mission. The Bothans that died for Death Star 2 was a different mission from the people who died for Death Star 1. In fact, they cover that in Shadows of the Empire. Because the Emperor, which I don't know if that's canon anymore or not, because it was canon at first, and now I don't know if it's classified as extended universe now. But in Shadows of the Empire, the Emperor deliberately released the information to the Bothans, but they made sure they shot down 10 of these the Y-wings that the Bothans were using to try to go through. And they made sure not to shoot down the fighter that was carrying the information, but it still killed 20 Bothans, because Y-wings are two-seaters. Or they become two-seaters later on. I think Incom released a two-seater Y-wing because the one-seater, it's a bomber. You know, it's not a fighter. It's a terrible fighter, but you rig it for bombing runs. You put a second person in there that has the turret on top that can fire the turret-mounted ion cannon, and it does a lot better. So, I mean, that's 20 people when you take out 10 of those fighters. Yes, I have to agree with you, Jan Michael. Darth Jar Jar makes perfect sense. And honestly, if you told me that George Lucas had that planned and then he wussed out at the last minute, I would totally believe it. I would. Like, just too much in The Phantom Menace didn't make sense when it came to Jar Jar. And then to have him be the one that makes that basically makes Palpatine Emperor, I mean, 2 + 2 = 4, right? And the Emperor, who is famously xenophobic, has Jar Jar Binks as part of his entourage? I mean, come on, you know, 2 + 2. No, Kat, you do make a good point. You might know the ending, but the Rogue One movie did cover the actual journey of what happened, and that is a fair point. And from what I understand, it also kind of digs into the underlying discomfort that people in the Empire had with the Empire, the Imperial government. And so that is a 100% fair argument to make, and I actually agree with you. I don't know, Renz. I think you're right. That's what he turned into. But there's a lot of evidence that there was supposed to be a plot twist there that George Lucas just didn't follow through on. And let's face it, the Revenge of the Sith, the plot felt rushed. I'm not saying that the story felt rushed. It didn't feel like they rushed the movie. It's like they pushed through too much plot in too short. It's like they could have turned it into 2 movies. But because of the trilogy format, they had to plow through. And I think they tried to remedy that with Clone Wars. The what was it, 3-season series or 2-season series that was done in animation, but it was all the actual actors playing their parts. But I do feel like you jump from Attack of the Clones into Revenge of the Sith, and years have passed, and that's fair. But you don't know who any of the characters are. And it's like, who the hell is this weird half robot with 4 arms, right? And so I feel like they had to plow through more plot than the writers were really comfortable doing. Well, that's probably why Lucas sold it to Disney. He was ready to retire. And so he sold the franchise. So here's a question. This is for all my fans of the Nightmare Dystopia. We're gonna kind of segue from Star Wars to this. In our shadow run of a current time, because that's what the future's turned into, right? Of all people to be right, how the hell did Fawcett call it? Except we don't have, you know, wetware or sorcerers, which is unfortunate. Which of the mega corporations are you rooting for to be our new technological overlords? Because you've got Google, you've got Disney, you've got Facebook, you got Twitter, and you've got what other megacorps are out there now? Comcast, I guess. Oh yeah, those. Oh my god. I don't know if those big birds are there. No, wait, they've come and gone a few times. I don't know if the devs are. The hell? Those Panleons just disappeared into that tree. Interesting. The first time I landed there and saw that, I thought it was left over from when the devs were dropping mobs on us. That's always fun. Going to an area where the devs are there and just dropping mobs on you. Amazon. Yes, Amazon. Right. How can I forget Jeff Bezos? Oh my god. Well, to be fair, Rince, Comcast owns most communications. Comcast and Verizon and AT&T pretty much control all communications, primary communication lines in America. And to think of it, you know, we've got the social media giants, and we've got Disney, and we've got, even to a certain extent, Google. But without the infrastructure that's controlled by Comcast and AT&T, it wouldn't matter. You know, they can just shut... They say Google might be the most powerful corporation in the world, but they're still beholden to Comcast and AT&T because they could just shut the fiber down. Can't get online without it. Click. Oh God. I am not worshiping on the altar of Todd Howard. It's probably his fault the simulation's breaking. Although, with some of the weird shit that's happened this year, I would not be surprised if we found out that real life had become was actually a Bethesda game. I haven't seen any plants randomly clipping into walls yet, though. Sigmac, Google's running its own wireless network. I don't think they've been running their own wires, though, except on their own campuses. You know, Kat, I've never seen Scrubs. I have a feeling I'm going to catch some hell for that. But no, we're talking about Todd Howard, who is I think he's the CEO of Bethesda. And, he rightfully catches crap for all of the glitches in Bethesda games. If you ever want to learn about Todd Howard, you got to watch Up Is Not Jump, and then watch all of his nightmare videos that have to do with Bethesda games. My personal favorites are Fallout 4 VR is a nightmare, and Fallout 4 VR is not a nightmare. And then Skyrim VR is a nightmare. Which, to be fair, doesn't really classify... The way he does, it's very, very comedic. Like, when I'm down, by the time I'm done watching those 3 videos, I'm usually rolling. Shit. Yes, he is. You know, Jan Michael, I would not doubt that Bitcoin has its own satellite network. I'm waiting for Neuralink, guys. Like, I want to volunteer for that shit. Ah, I knew it. I'm in trouble, guys. I would like to know why a laser weapon has recoil. Can anyone tell me that? Like, why? Laser weapons don't have recoil. They're directed energy. They're a light bulb. I'm going to assume that book face is a reference to Scrubs. How's our gun doing? So, in the last hour, we've burned through 3 and a touch more ped of the gun. And, probably roughly around 2,000 rounds. Or shots. Not bad. I want to go to Mindark and just say, what? Come on, guys. A flashlight with recoil? I mean, really? So, okay, I need to step away for 30 seconds. I'll be right back. I'm back. Sorry about that. Oh, okay. Right. The Book of Face. Spacebook my face. The funny thing about the Book of Face is that it's actually custom engineered to make you stay on it all the time. Think about that for a minute. They did that on purpose, mostly to sell ads. But that's why it's so powerful. It's actually addictive. Like, social media addiction is a thing. Which is why I do my best to stay off of it when I'm not at work. Which you may all chuckle, but that's actually part of my 9 to 5, is managing social media. Which I think helps prevent me from becoming one of these social media addicts who's on it all the time, but even I find myself diving down the rabbit hole occasionally. Well, the thing is that social media is a powerful platform, especially if you're trying to peddle something, right? If you're a business or if you're an influencer, well, for influencers, that's a lot of their whole shtick. Or if you're someone like me who runs a channel, or in my case, also a political candidate, it's a very powerful tool. But if you get sucked in, you lose a whole day. Thankfully, I keep myself off of it for the most part, in my off time. And even in my work time, we use software that means we're not actually on the platforms anymore. We finally were able to get a scheduling software that is able to do it all for us. So, like, the comments filter through, I can answer the comments through the software, and it's all connected. And I don't have to go on the Book of Face or onto Twitter, or in, or even LinkedIn for the most part. I just go into Hootsuite and I do the thing and it's done. And no, I am not in, this is not a paid advertisement for Hootsuite, and they're not sponsoring my channel, so that would be cool. Rents, I don't disagree with you, but most humans seek validation by expressing their personal stories. They seek relevance. Especially this day and age. I mean, just finding meaning in our lives has become harder and harder as time has gone on. You know? And I think that that's what gives them some semblance of meaning, even though it's not necessarily the best meaning. YouTube hooked me so much I'm now producing content for it. Not gonna lie. And I remember when the first YouTube video came out, my computer couldn't even render it because of dial-up. It was like, what, a 20-second video? And after 30 minutes of waiting for it to load, I said bag it. And yes, Kat has a very good point. They already have your info. Facebook has a profile on you whether you have a Facebook or not. And this is a true story. A whistleblower actually came out and let the media know this. And they'll farm information on you. Because that's what they are. They're data miners. Because data is where the money is. Truly. I mean, the masters of it, of course, is Google, right? You can't really live without a Google account anymore. Just like you can't live without a Microsoft account. And they have everything. Google and Apple are really the scariest two companies in the world, I think. And I say this as somebody who whose paycheck used to be paid by Google. Maybe that's more because of that. You Google everything on Bing. So instead of using the evil empire of Google, use the evil empire of Microsoft. And no, I don't literally mean evil. I'm just like technocratic. How's that? Yeah, Google owns the verb. They became the verb. Does anyone remember Ask Jeeves? Like, that used to be the premier search engine. Google things on Bing but use Yahoo. Oh god, who the hell would want to use Yahoo? Yeah, right, Jan? We've come a long way from having to type IP addresses in what is now the URL line. First time I got on the internet, I was at a local high school in Montpelier. A friend of mine said, "Hey, Julian, we have to go clean out the school. I'm going over to the school to clean out lockers. You want to help me?" The school's called U32. And I said, "Why the hell would I want to do that? It's summer." He goes, "Well, if we find anything interesting, we get to keep it." Okay, fair enough. He goes, "And after that, we get to get on the computers and use the internet." I said, "What the hell's the internet?" It's 1995. And so we take care of the lockers. That takes us like half the day. And then we get to the computers and jump online. Get the dial-up sounds. And up came GovNet, the only internet service provider. And we had a list of IP addresses for different high schools and colleges. I don't know that Ask Jeeves is still active. Although I gotta wonder, what kind of a search engine does someone use if you're using Tor? Right, because it wouldn't make sense to use an unlocked web browser and then just use Google. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Tor, Tor is a web browser similar to Chrome or Safari that does not filter out. There's no soft way to put this, so it doesn't filter out the dark web. You can access the dark web using Tor. I believe it also shield. I think it acts as like a virtual as a VPN of sorts, or you always want to use a VPN when using it. But but yeah, no, it allows you into places that most web browsers automatically lock out because they're not whitelisted, or it lets you into blacklisted sites, like places that if you go there, you're probably coming away with a virus or 5. So, you know, tread lightly. But I gotta wonder, like, how does it come in with a built-in search engine? I mean, do you just have to know the sites to go to? I've always been curious about that. Oh yeah, there's Brave too. That's a newer one. Which is like, I think it's basically Chrome, but not owned by a giant corporation. Like, I used to love Firefox, but then Firefox became bloated. I won't say it's on the same level as Internet Explorer, but you can see it from there. I was really disappointed. Oh my god, yes. Anytime I think of the games of that time period, like your Star Wars X-Wing Rogue Squadron and X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, I remember the old LAN parties. Like playing Battlefield 1942 via LAN, or actually I think one of the early virtual lobbies was BattleNet. Back when it was still called BattleNet, like first edition BattleNet. But Counter-Strike, playing Counter-Strike on a LAN. That was always fun. Oh, CNC, yes. I never got to play CNC on a LAN party. I feel like that is something that I missed out on. Especially like the Red Alert 2 was my favorite CNC. Because it had just the right mix of seriousness and goofiness. And who doesn't like giant zeppelins that drop insane bombs? Unreal Tournament. Yep, I did play Unreal Tournament via LAN. They actually brought back Unreal Tournament. You can play it in the Epic Game Store, and I think it's free. UT4, I think, is the Unreal. Diablo 2, yes. You know, it's sad. I've played Diablo 2, I've beaten Diablo 3, I have never played Diablo 1. I own the game. Never played it. That's something I need to do. Maybe that's something I need to do, is I need to do a Diablo trilogy marathon where I play through 1, 2, and 3 as a series, like I did with Borderlands 1, 2, and part of 3. I'll think about that. I'll have to think about that. Because Diablo is one of those games where you can grind for hours. That's the old-fashioned dungeon crawler. And boy, you don't want to die in Diablo 2. You drop all your shit. You're at the boss fight, the boss kills you? Ugh. You better have a whole backup arsenal waiting for you. Well, to be fair, Jan, by the time I got a computer of my own that I could play a Diablo game on, and keep in mind, we're talking the original iteration of Diablo 1, not the ones that are made to be compatible with the modern systems. My computer clock ran so fast, I actually had to slow the Diablo 2 mobs, the internal clock, down to almost the slowest setting so they move at a normal pace. Because it was still using the computer clock to move things. And we're not talking the time clock, we're talking the number of functions per second. And so things just whipped around on the screen. But now Good Old Games has like your old Warcrafts, your old Diablos, they're all available. I have Diablo 2 in an iteration that works for modern computers, but if I want to play Diablo 1, I gotta go to GOG. I haven't yet. I'm still pissed at Blizzard. We'll hunt one or two more and then we'll call it. Coming up on 10:30 here. You know, I gotta say, I really like the amount of engagement that we're able to have. And I think we're building a great community. It's been, you know, it's always a lot of fun. We never know where the topics are going to shift to. Run our butts back into the rookie starting area. And I think that might be the best part about doing live streams, is you never know where the conversation's going to go. What is that? That's new. Is that new? I think that's new. Maybe that'll be a topic for our next live stream, since tomorrow's video was done on Sunday. At least get back to the terminals over here. Oh, hey Eagle Griffin. Yeah, we're on Cyrene. Thank you for joining us, Eagle. Unfortunately, you caught the tail end of things, but so you know, and for those of you who may be watching for the first time, I stream every Tuesday and Friday from 9 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Friday streams occasionally go long. Tuesday ones do not, because I gotta work in the morning. So I hope you join us again. In the meantime, everyone, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. Also, please consider going over to patreon.com/JulianMcBain if you want to support my work. If you do, you will get copies of The Modern Entropian and Personal Finance for Gamers for becoming a member. Big shout out to my patrons, Red Kryptonite, Jason Lambertson, and Spectrum 3900. I appreciate your support. All right, everyone. I really appreciate all of the support you've given me. I mean, 10 likes. That's awesome. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all on Friday. Have a great evening.